Welcome all you misfits and metalheads to the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I am Rose Blood.
And we have music right here on YouTube and on Spotify. Please go check us out. Do us a favor. With that out the way, what do we have for him today, Rose?
Alright, we're gonna start you off. It's not a film.
It's not a
Somebody
film.
threw a wrench in the works over here.
Banana peel.
Oh, snap. Alright, no, it is a brand new show. It's on Hulu, and it's called Helstrom.
Yeah.
This is based off of a comic. This is part of the MCU universe. And I am not familiar with the comic. I've never read the comic.
I'm not either. This is my first introduction to this.
Certain things about it make me think that it's tied into another show, but I don't know that yet. I haven't done a whole deep dive into it because I didn't want to get spoiled as we were watching the episodes. So I stayed away from some research just because I just didn't want to spoil it for myself as I was watching. So anyways, Helstrom is about a brother and sister, Damon and Anna. And they're really fucked up, supernaturally dysfunctional family.
Yes. Like dysfunctional and then have like these evil demonic superpowers.
Yes.
Oh, it's a bad combo.
Yeah, this thing centers around demonic possession and the various ways that different characters deal with that situation. The main character being Damon and Anna's mom is possessed. Now, I want to talk about their mom,
Big
Victoria.
time possessed.
She is an amazing actress.
So good. Oh man.
I give her all the props in the world.
Definitely.
I could not believe
her flipping the switch between like the person she was and the person that's like taking over her. Like, oh man.
Just perfectly pulls
What a good job.
This really sinister persona. You know, and then you do eventually get to see her in these like non-possessed moments and stuff. So you get to see, you know, her
how
as
big
a
of
normal
contrast
person.
it is, yeah.
And then that makes it even better when she like switches back into demon mode.
Her voice just drops.
And her voice just it's really creepy. It's shot really well as you would expect of a, you know, MCU TV show. Some people complain that the color palette is too dull. I've seen that people make that suggestion.
It kind of fits what's happening. That world is just dreary. It makes a lot of sense, I think. Yeah, right.
But some people complained about that. This one is more of a slow burn, guys.
It is.
So don't expect a whole lot of action right out the box. There's going to be it's gonna build up over time. And when things do happen, the special effects are really awesome. There's some amazing practical special effects, and if there's any way
really excited
to get
about
to
some
my
of that.
heart, and that is with some good practical special effects.
The reveal was worth the wait, though.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, the reveal on this guy once you finally see it.
But it takes a while.
It does take a little bit to get to it.
It takes a minute. You know, there's a lot of exposition. There's a lot of like.
There is some stuff happening on the way, and you do get to see some of what the brother and sister can do with some of their powers.
Yes,
they're slightly different.
And Damon
so that can be that's interesting. It's
Damon
a little exciting
kind of,
sometimes.
He's kind of like the bleeding heart. Like it's interesting because you'd expect like the female character to be the more vulnerable character, but no, his sister Anna is the fucking ice queen. All right, this chick is cold. She is cold as ice, and she has a very hot goth look to her. I really love her. Her whole look is really. She's always very like nicely tailored and elegant and stuff, and she's always looking like very fancy and very fly. Like all that. She's got that drip. Okay, she's got that goth drip to the max.
And this chick can move. I mean, when she gets into a fight.
Yeah, when she gets into some fights, you don't want to mess with Anna. Anna will house you. She will just.
I was surprised.
And she has a couple of moments where
she has a couple of moments, and I was like,
it's on the edge. It's on the edge of like, is she back? Is she one of the good guys? Are you sure about that? You know, so yeah, she has her moments of shadiness, and you'll find out later why. It has all to do with their dad.
Man, what a horrible origin story.
Yeah, they have a horrible origin story. I'm not going to get into it, but I mean, well, if you look up any synopsis, this is not really going to be groundbreaking news.
Yeah.
If you look up any synopsis, any description about Helstrom, you're going to find out that they are the children of a serial killer, but he's not just a serial killer. He is a demonic serial killer. Yeah. So
and he has a really strong one inside of him.
It's bad. It's bad. So you know, and their dad is definitely the reason that their mom is possessed. Mm-hmm. So there's that. So there's a lot of you know, due to all of this dysfunction and everything, there's a lot that our characters have to go through to kind of grow as people and to understand each other
and get over a lot of that old trauma that they've never dealt with each other because
they basically got separated and then they got reunited later on,
and then they have their like grudges on different things about what happened. Everybody sees things differently. So
you know, if you've got the time to put into a show, this is worth checking out. Just know that down the line it's gonna get cray and it's gonna be worth it. But you know, you do have to slog some time in.
You do have to get to it though.
You kind of, you know, there's points where I'm like, okay, about now.
I was definitely interested enough to keep going. I'm like,
yes.
They showed me enough that I wanted to see more and where it was gonna go, which is why we made it the entire way.
Yeah, there's a deepening mystery. I was on the fence at first, but then you know, about midway through, I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this to the end because I just have to know now.
Yeah,
what
me
happens.
too.
Like you're just like, now I gotta know.
Yeah.
Out of sheer stubbornness.
I agree.
I gotta know.
I was like, at this point, like, I really have to see this through now.
So, that being said, we don't want to give too much of it away. All right? The main characters, like we said, are Damon and Anna, their mother Victoria. There are a couple of other people. There's a doctor / former nun, maybe? Yes. Former nun.
Yeah.
Dr. Hastings, who raised Damon. And, but she did not raise Anna, and you'll find out why if you watch the show.
And there's a whole lot of drama about all of that.
Yeah, and then there's this dude Taker, which I kept thinking about wrestling.
How could you not?
I could not think about wrestling, but it actually is short for caretaker, actually, not the Undertaker, which is what I immediately thought. So, that being said, and there's of course a love interest chick, and her name is Gabriella, and she is kind of like the heart. She's kind of like the conscience for Damon. You know, when he gets a little too dark, she kind of helps pull him back a little bit. You know, and she becomes a very important. You know, you think that she could be a throwaway character, but she becomes an important part of the story later on.
Yeah,
so
she's gonna be around.
That being said, without giving too much away, how would you rate this film, Thorn Black?
I am going to have to give this a 3.5.
3.5 chainsaws out of 5 chainsaws.
Out of 5 chainsaws.
All right.
So the slow burn is part of what detracted a little bit from this series.
Yes,
for
Thorn
me.
Black here is one for the action. He wants it nonstop. So
I mean, I understand it's not going to be nonstop, but
he likes a lot of action.
It felt a little drawn out at times.
It is a slog.
And
it can be a slog.
I felt like they could have gone further if they would have sped some of the events up a little quicker, and yeah. So I enjoyed it. It is a good show. The big monster reveal is so worth it.
Oh yeah,
it's really
scary.
Well done.
It's really scary and horrible.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're just looking at it like, no.
I'm glad that they did that.
Like, this is an atrocity. Like, oh my god.
You just don't want to look at it. It's just like
nasty.
But you can't stop there. It's one of those.
And then there's further stuff later on too. There's just great. And whenever they have something that calls for a practical effect, it looks
it's
awesome.
Amazing.
Whoever's doing special effects for this show,
it's amazing. Yeah,
super talented.
I agree.
I'm really into all the fight scenes with any fight scene with Anna in it. Her body double is also the body double in Ant-Man for the Wasp. to do like the heavy stunt work. I don't know if she maybe did some of the smaller stunt works and stuff, because it doesn't always cut away. So I think that she probably did some of it. Anyway, regardless, it's good. Like, it's tight. It's like, it's really fast and like, it's like, you're like, oh, this shit can get down. Like,
when this show is good, it's good,
Yeah.
But sometimes it's
but
just,
you have to slog through a lot of mubbiness,
a little bit to get there.
Especially from Damon.
Yeah.
Especially from Damon.
So I'm glad that I did watch it and I saw it through. But
I'm glad that we stuck our way through.
I'm not necessarily going to be watching this season again anytime soon. So that's why I'm going to have to give it like 3.5. I think people should see it, but
Okay. All right. Well, I am going to give it. I think I'm also going to give it. Nope. You know what? I'm going to give it a 4. You know why? Because the special effects are great. That's why. And like I said, the key to my heart is good practical effects.
Yeah.
The monster was so fucking horrible that I'm still thinking about it.
I can still picture it very well. I can picture it
well, and it's just nasty.
Yeah, it's just nasty.
And they hint at it. They hint at it in like an episode or two before, and then when
you're like, what's happening?
And then you're like, what is that? I don't know.
Oh, you're not going to show me?
Oh, okay.
And then when they finally show you, you're like, I'm sorry, I asked.
Yeah, it's nasty, man. It's nasty. It's nasty. So, I have to say, even though it was slow, I don't mind a slow pace sometimes, as long as there's a good payoff. And I got the payoff that I wanted when things went down. And I'm invested in it now. I need to know what happens.
I will be following.
I need to know what happens.
Another season comes out.
I have to see what's going on with these characters and how they deal with this situation. I will say with the finale that they dealt with the final situation in a different way than I and a different way than other characters think that they should have. So, that's what's up with Helstrom.
Yeah.
I think it's worth checking out.
Let us know what you think. If you have seen it, if you're going to see it.
It's definitely not going to be as action-packed as some of the other MCU TV shows, like Luke Cage and shows like that, where there's like constant like fights and Daredevil and like stuff like Jessica Jones. It's not quite. I wish that there was a little bit more action like those shows have. It was an unexpected, enjoyable experience because I was not familiar with the comics actually at all.
Yeah, same here.
This is definitely.
This is my introduction to this world.
It's an interesting choice. I'm surprised that Marvel did something like this. Because I wasn't expecting it, but it makes sense that they released it right around Halloween.
Yeah,
it fits with the season. I couldn't imagine that it would be successful like if it wasn't put out during Halloween. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, let's move on to our anime. This is my another anime dance.
I guess this is happening now.
I'm not even embarrassed. I don't even care. That's how much of a weeb I am.
That's all right. I am for us both.
Bring it. Say something about my dance. You can't take this joy away from me. All right. The next thing that we're going to cover is Demon Slayer.
Oh
yes. Oh, yes.
I'm a fan.
As you can tell,
I'm a fan.
Thorn Black is obviously a fan.
Yes.
It's also known, the Japanese name for the show is Kimetsu no Yaiba. All right, and it's produced by UFO Table, which you guys might know from if you're fans of Fate Stay Night. So right off the bat, you should know just from that.
The studio knows what they're doing when it comes to
the artwork is insane.
Yeah,
the artwork is so good. It's so good. It's so stylish. It has its own really cool feel to it, especially when they activate any like their supernatural powers. It's
the
beautiful.
Is done so well.
It's just got like a little bit of a cool influence of like old Japanese artwork to it, and it just makes it just beautiful to watch.
It really is.
All right, so right off the bat, insane studio to do
art alone,
the animation.
It's like if you watch this show for no other reason but the art, it's worth it. Let alone like the good characters and the action and the story that's going on in here.
That's right.
Oh man,
that's right.
They knocked it out of the park with this one.
So let's talk about the story. Let's get into it. So I mean, if you haven't heard of Demon Slayer by this point, I would be surprised. But we're covering it anyway, just in case you have not.
Just in case.
Because if you have not watched Demon Slayer yet, then you have a problem, because this is one of the best new animes of the year.
Yep.
Okay, this is just. I mean, it's just incredible. It's one of my favorites.
I believe they're working on a movie right now.
Yes,
for Demon
probably.
Slayer.
And the main character, his name is Tanjiro, and he is just adorable. He's too good for this world.
He has the kindest heart ever.
He's too good for this world.
Yeah.
Okay, like, you just want to protect him, you know? Like, he's just so sweet. And he's also freaking badass. He has an unstoppable force of will. He went through, he goes through shit, like, right off the gate. They're just wrecking his life because demons come and just massacre.
We all know they don't like anybody.
Everybody in his house. But everybody in his house.
What a
okay,
mess.
So that's the start of the anime.
Yeah,
this is not giving anything away because
it's in the trailers.
It's in the trailers. Okay, we're trying to be spoiler free, but obviously we're gonna cover some things about it so that you understand what the heck is happening. So
you gotta have the hero's motivation.
You have to have his motivation. So basically, his sister, something bad has happened to her, but she actually has survived. However, she has not come away unscathed. And she has now been infected by this demon. So he is on a mission to basically cure her, hopefully, even though people don't really think that that's even a possibility.
But our guy's gonna try.
But homeboy gonna try. He's like, that's my sister, though.
But there's a chance, though.
He's like, but that's my sister, though.
But have you tried? So you don't really know then, right?
Exactly. So,
okay.
he... after some grueling, horrible training on this mountain, where he lives in the mountains and the hills and stuff, and this dude that comes to sort out this whole demon situation, kind of, he ends up with a soft spot for him because he's like, oh, you're just trying to protect you. You're just like this sweet kid.
It's hard not to have a soft spot.
It's hard to not have a soft spot for Tanjiro.
It's like, come on,
I just want to hug this fucking character. There's not that many characters where I'm just like, I just want to hug you like that. I want to hug Tanjiro. He's like the freaking cutest. He's just so sweet. Like, I can't. So cute. Anyways, so but like I said, he's also a total badass, and he is ready to fight some demons. And he's not ready because demons are crazy strong. Demons are super duper strong.
But it's fun watching him get there.
Yeah. So he's basically being trained to be a demon slayer, and his teacher. Basically, Sakanji basically is like, yo, we're gonna have to hide your sister if you're gonna be traveling around. Because he's like, I'm gonna find this demon,
a half-breed
that did
human
this,
demon, and nobody knows what's going on, and demons are attacking.
Yeah.
You can't just have her out in the open. It's gonna cause a lot of problems.
Exactly.
And he's not skilled enough to deal with all those problems right away.
No, not at all. So great character development in the story. Obviously, later on in the story, he meets other characters, and they kind of become part of his crew. The most annoying one being Zenitsu.
Yes.
Zenitsu is like, he's like the total opposite.
Quite annoying.
He's like the total opposite of Tanjiro. But a lot of people like him. He has a very modern Japanese accent, and which is funny because it kind of looks like feudal-ish Japan because everybody's in like very beautiful kimonos, and haris, but but it's not, because then there's also later on they're on a train and stuff like that. It's just that he lives up in the hills and stuff, so he dresses mad traditional. But anyways, all their gear, everybody's drip is just 100%. Everybody has really cool, stylish outfits and everything. I love their outfits.
Yeah.
So Zenitsu is like we said, he's like the exact opposite of Tanjiro.
Yeah.
He's kind of lecherous. He's older. He's like the oldest in his crew. Because Tanjiro is like 13 years old, and his sister is like, I think she's the younger sister, so she's got to be like a year or two younger than that. And then Zenitsu is like 16 years old. So as like a 16-year-old would be, he's kind of like perverted, you know, like he just hits on every girl that they meet. He's like, you want to get married? They're like, hold on, slow your roll. Like, we just met.
What's your name even?
Like, what's your name?
No.
Like, you know, you don't even know when my birthday is. Calm down, you know? So he is like way over eager, and he's a total like hoe. And he's a freaking coward too, bro.
Isn't he?
Like the biggest coward.
Oh, man.
Like, and, you know, in all their situations, he's just like losing his mind. He's just like screaming and losing it. He's just like, oh my God, what is happening? Until he falls unconscious, and then something else happens. We won't go into detail though. The other character that's part of his crew that they meet later on is Inosuke, who is a very interesting character because he wears like this crazy like boar head thing, you know, and at first you think that maybe he's like a hybrid or something like that.
I did.
Like maybe he's like a demon, maybe he's a part demon also, you know, like you can't even tell it at that point because you've already seen so many weird monsters and like stuff like that, and you've seen demons that are I'm
like, well, that would make
actually
sense
not
for this
bad.
world.
They've just gotten infected with it, you know. So there's like this demon doctor chick that they meet that like really helps them and stuff like that, and she kind of gives Tanjiro hope that they can possibly cure his sister, you know, because she hasn't, you know, even though she's gotten infected by the demon, because she hasn't drawn human blood, she hasn't tasted human blood. That's what's keeping her
in
human.
Between both worlds right now.
Exactly. So, but if she does, then it's over. It's over. But since she's not, she's kind of like in this weird hybrid state.
And that's why they put the little bamboo.
Yeah, she has like this crazy like bamboo like muzzle thing so that she won't bite people and drink their blood and therefore turn herself into a full demon.
And so far so good.
So anyways, so that's like the basic that's like our basic. Tamayo is the name of that demon doctor chick. And the big bad, his name is Muzan. He's kind of like this freaking smooth criminal looking, you know, he kind of looks like Michael Jackson in the Smooth Criminal video, right?
Right?
Yeah, a little bit. That's kind of what his, you know, but he's mad style.
This
dude is cold.
Evil.
He's cold. He's evil. Well, you get to see into his organization, and like his own minions are scared of him. Like demons, like straight up demons are like, nah. But Muzan though, like maybe not. Maybe we don't mess with him. Like, this dude is just cold and evil.
For just no reason. Just cold. Wow.
Just harsh.
Yeah.
Just harsh. Okay. And anyway, you will have no end of exciting and interesting and unique monsters to look at if you are a fan of monsters like I am. I love me some monsters.
I love all the enemies in here are very unique. The powers,
absolutely.
The abilities that they have are stuff that I haven't seen before. Yep. And I like people just keep topping themselves over and over, and they seem to do that every time they get into a fight. It's some crazy unique ability. You're like, what? Who came up with this?
And then you see when you see the official demon slayers later on, there's a whole little cast of characters. They haven't gone too super deep into their backstories necessarily, and some of them are just kind of.
I think it's probably coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
I'm sure it's going to come
now, and
come
that
down
makes
the
sense
line.
Introducing
but
everything.
you get introduced to some characters that, first of all, beautifully designed. Just. You know, you just look at them and you're like, I need to know more about this character because you just look beautiful and I just want to know more about you. I am looking
forward to some of the backstories on some of the guys in that group.
Absolutely. So we'll see. Some of them are just dicks and, you know, but they get put in their place somewhat, you know, so it's worth it. And
so let's give this a rating.
Let's give this a rating.
What are you going to give it, Rose?
Oh, you know what I'm going to give this. It's 5! 5! Okay? I would give it 10 if I could. Alright? I love this anime. I think it's so good. Eventually I'm going to read the manga, but I'm actually waiting until the anime is finished because I don't want to like ruin it for myself.
Yeah.
It's hard though. It's hard. As somebody who often reads the manga, like basically my rule is if I'm introduced to it via the anime first, then I just watch the anime. But if a lot of these, sometimes I'll read the manga first, and then, you know, I'm gonna finish that manga because that's the kind of person that I am.
Yeah,
yes.
makes sense.
So, but if I start with the anime, then I stick with the anime until the anime's over, and then if it's an anime whose next season gets canceled, then I jump into the manga and then I finish up the whole story. And I've done this with many animes. So, what would you rate it?
I'm gonna give this a 4.5.
4.5.
I got a 4.5 it as much as I love it.
You're wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
How does this not get a 5?
I can love something and still not think it's perfect.
Okay.
You know?
So
like,
what is your reasoning for taking that half point?
Zenitsu, that character.
Yeah, you really dislike that character.
Just honestly really annoyed me. I'm glad he wasn't introduced at the beginning of it. It wasn't about him. And then he came in and I'm like, what just happened? This anime was amazing 2 seconds ago. Like, what just... He's so cowardly and so annoying that I just had a really hard time with him. He has some amazing skills, but it's so hard for him to tap into it. You know, and that's not the problem. It's the character outside of all of those skills.
He's kind of like Asta.
And annoying. And, you know, but it's like, Asta has some redeeming qualities.
Asta has a lot of redeeming qualities.
If he's not, like, knocked out, I'm like, where's the... He frustrates me, and that's why I can't give it a perfect 5.
Okay, I understand.
I'm sorry.
I do understand.
I love the anime. I love it, but
we'll see if you maybe come around after the second season comes out. Maybe
we'll see.
Maybe your opinion will change.
I want them to change my opinion.
We will try to follow up on future seasons of these animes that we're covering, and let you know if perhaps our opinions change. Because we're just people, and sometimes your opinion can change.
And maybe we'll even get around to that Demon Slayer movie at some point.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be good. We have a couple of live actions that we need to see. And we will save that for the next episode. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please check out our music. And on here, on YouTube, we have multiple videos.
And on Spotify.
We have a couple of songs. On Spotify, you can listen to our full album. Let us know what you think about this. If you have your own suggestions as far as horror movies or anime that you think that we should definitely check out, that we haven't covered already.
Always looking for a recommendation ourselves.
We have several other episodes now of The Cutting Room Floor, so go check them out. Find out what's worth watching and what's not.
And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time on The Cutting Room Floor, we're out.